If you're fragile, things are looking pretty terrible for cryptocurrency, buying crypto, mining crypto, right? All that stuff. But it's a scary time, right? It's FUD and honestly also just bad news everywhere you look. There's a couple little rays of hope, and there's also really good news if you've been trying to pick up some crypto mining rigs.
Yes! Hell yeah!
But is it still worth it? Is crypto even worth it anymore? My name is Vosk, and we're going to ponder this grand question today. As we run through a bunch of data, by the end of this video, hopefully you will be up to date on hours of research, along with latest and breaking news. Let's do it. You're on the Voskcoin YouTube channel. Nothing here is financial advice. My name is Vosk. I'll be your host today, and this is Tails, my boss, and the Voskcoin president. Okay, so let's jump into it. Let's look at the bad, the ugly, then we'll get to hopefully a little bit of good. Crypto exchange Gemini slashes about 10% of its workforce. That's terrifying because they're a major crypto exchange and they're cutting 10% of their workforce. That's very bearish. These are the first cuts since their inception in 2014. Okay, 2021 was a very bullish year for cryptocurrency. Most of 2020, after like the worst period, became one of the better periods, and then 2021 really sailed as arguably one of the best periods, historically for crypto based on prices, and also just the market cap of the entire crypto sector hit all-time highs. Right, that brings the most opportunities, and you have to just really try to scale as fast as you can to deal with that. However, again, Gemini, US-based crypto exchange, slashed 10% of their workforce. And the founders, Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, discussed that more elaborately in this blog post, but basically, according to LinkedIn, more than 1,000 people work there, so that could be 100 people being cut. That's a tough conversation to have. Gemini says it's pulling back. They're focusing on products critical to their mission in these turbulent market conditions. Okay, and also we have a new link with Gemini where you get $25 for free if you join over there and complete their sign-up bonus, which is just trading, I think, $100 of crypto with our link. So, hey, that's cool, up from $10. So maybe that's where those layoffs went. Just kidding. It's not really funny. It's actually, absolutely terrible to lose any jobs like that. So that is unfortunate. But, companies also have to operate in a profitable manner. Otherwise, they go bankrupt. So, CFTC accuses Winklevoss-owned crypto exchange Gemini of misleading statements in new lawsuit. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission has sued Gemini. Well, that's bearish. According to this complaint, Gemini directly and through the DCM provided information to the CFTC concerning Gemini's trading platform and the Gemini Bitcoin auction, and certain statements and information conveyed or omitted by Gemini were false or misleading with respect to, among other things, facts relevant to understanding whether the proposed Bitcoin futures contract would be readily susceptible to manipulation. As alleged in this complaint, Gemini personnel knew or reasonably should have known that such statements were false or misleading. SIBOs, cash settled. Bitcoin futures utilized price data from Gemini's exchange when they launched in December 2017. When reached out for comment, Gemini's spokesperson told the blog, Gemini has been a pioneer and proponent of thoughtful regulation since day one. They have an 8-year track record of asking for permission and not forgiveness and always doing the right thing. They look forward to definitively proving this in court. Keep in mind, Gemini is based out of New York. It's one of the only options that New York residents can even use because they live in basically what is a communist state here in the United States. I would recommend all New York residents to personally move if you can. But again, you do whatever you want to do. You just have Ted Cruz over here, who I wasn't really a fan of him until recently. He's basically saying, I want to make Texas not the Bitcoin capital of the states, but of the world. It's a bold goal. It's a bold play, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Unlike Solana's blockchain recently, which the clock lost track of time. Tick-tock goes the clock. I feel like I'm going insane. Now we're running 30 minutes behind. There was also recently a halt in the chain. It's definitely frustrating to see, with things like this, because I'm actually really excited for Solana. I think it has good scalability, but they're dealing with hurdles in their proprietary blockchain, to put it simply. You want to talk about a blockchain that just continues to get worse and worse and worse and worse. It's going to be Helium. Helium just continues to suck. Every update that Helium pushes Helium blockchain seems to get worse. And I know that because I have many Helium hotspot miners and I've been mining Helium for well over a year. But as it stands, Helium Inc., now Nova Labs, rebranding here, receiving more and more funding. Basically, they're having a good time, but all us little Helium peasant LoRa miners are in trouble, especially with the way that they value LoRa 1 is just 1.2% of where the Helium HNT coin should possibly be going. Imagine if you showed up at your job one day and they're like, actually, we're going to reduce your pay by 98.8%. Crypto skeptic tech losers counter lobby U.S. lawmakers. Leading, hopefully soon to be not leading, Technologists. Okay, signed an anti-crypto letter to Washington calling blockchain technology a solution in search of a problem. Hey, you guys are losers. Okay, you core Netscape dev, which is one of them. 26 computer scientists, tech bloggers, and academics, including many former employees of FANG firms and notable crypto skeptics, lobbying against cryptos has been presented to U.S. lawmakers. It urges regulators to take a critical, skeptical approach toward industry claims that crypto assets are an innovative technology that is unreservedly good and resist pressure from digital asset industry financiers, lobbyists, and boosters to create a regulatory safe haven for these risky, flawed, and unproven digital financial instruments. Hey, let me tell you what the fact is here. All these losers have as much money as they could ever want for the rest of their lifetime. Okay? And what drew me to crypto? Financial freedom. Okay, the opportunity to make life-changing gains, life-changing money. Okay, they don't care about that. And that doesn't mean that crypto is bad. It's a Ponzi scheme. Okay, this is the next internet, boom. This is what they all took part in previously, and they made it. So of course they don't understand, and of course they don't like it. Crypto, Web 3.0, threatens, and it undermines, and it destroys everything that Web and Web 2.0 has created. This is the next generation. Of course they don't like it. It's better, and it provides opportunities for us and the little guys, not them, the literal tech pros, the tech giants. So yeah, it's pretty important. Optimism token plummeting 65% following the hyped airdrop. But suggest, is that true? Because when I go over to CoinGecko and I punch in Optimism token, it's trading at $1.50. And I made a video where I look like a idiot dumping in around $1. So from my point of view, this thing's pumping 50%. So in my opinion, maybe you should do better research next time, because your article is outdated the second it hit the web. In other bearish news, we got Elon Musk having Twitter battles with loser Dogecoin co-creator. Okay, we talked about Jackson Palmer before. Basically, he's a crybaby socialist, which is absolutely opposite of the general libertarian views of cryptocurrency, users, investors, lovers, whatever. The dude sold all his Doge and he bought a used Honda Civic. If he had amassed a big pile of Dogecoin and actually believed and supported the project long term, he could have literally bought Honda, okay? Like the entire company. Like it was worth more than Honda's market cap when it was trading at a higher price. Just let that sink in. That's all we need to say. Elon Musk, stop talking to the guy, okay? He's a lame. But it's not all bad news. Binance Labs is announcing a $500 million Web3 fund backed by DST Global and Breyer Capital, and they will be investing in Web3 projects. $500 million is a lot of money. It's $500 million, but I know you knew that. You're a smart person.
Did you use the word smart?
The takeaway here is that that's going to build more things. It's going to bring more things to market. And basically what we have here is more opportunities for use, like as a crypto user, but also as a crypto investor here. And some of that will be spent on marketing, bringing hopefully more users into the space. Speaking of Binance, they have their own chain, which I think a lot of this funding will basically go towards building things out on that chain. That is a bullish sign for BNB and the Binance Smart Chain, or the BNB Smart Chain, whatever the hell they're calling it this week. Going over to BSC Scan, looking at some metrics. So we look at the daily transactions charts. So basically right now, BSC, or the Binance Smart Chain, is doing about 4 million transactions a day. A lot of people write off BSC. They don't understand it. They don't know about it. They don't follow it. They don't like it. They don't use it. They don't want to add something else to the I do this or to-do list. I get it. There's a lot of things you can do with crypto. You could just crypto all day and still be missing out on a ton of stuff. We compare this to Ethereum's daily transaction chart. They're doing 1 million transactions. So just understand that, and it's not exactly apples to apples, right? You know, I understand Ethereum. There's so much more value on there, so much more capital deployed on that chain, and everything else. I get it. I understand that point of view, but I'm just saying from a metrics, right? The BNB Smart Chain is doing 4 times the transactions on average daily here, okay? And it costs 4 times less, or if not more, okay? Significantly cheaper to transact on this chain. The chain does more at a cheaper price, and yet all we ever want to talk about is Ethereum. And I'll just give you a quick run through. You know, you can just add the Binance Smart Chain, and you know we have a how to get started with the Binance Smart Chain video guide we posted a while ago. But that's got all the data, and you see it on the screen here. You just punch this info. I'll drop the links out down below to add it to your MetaMask. From there, you can make decentralized trades, the biggest option on the Binance Smart Chain. Normally, people go to Pancakeswap, right? You can just go over to Pancakeswap, connect your MetaMask, and then make a trade. Pretty simple, pretty easy. See, I'm trading 0.01 BNB, and it cost me 0.000796 and a gas fee here. Basically, it's not too much. On Pancakeswap, you can obviously make decentralized trades, but they also have farms. You can earn interest. You can deploy your capital. You can provide liquidity. You can yield farm, liquidity mining, okay, all that kind of stuff. They launched their own NFTs, their own little NFT marketplace, but I'm really disappointed with their NFT marketplace. It's very underdeveloped. But you don't have any incentive to trade here other than, this is where you should be trading based on this is where most of the liquidity, or basically you'll get your best trades. So what's interesting is we put out a video recently about Biswap, and Biswap is a pretty cool option because basically they operate as their own exchange, but also an aggregator, so they're supposed to find you like the deal here, right? So let's say I want some cake and I just want to put in 0.01 BNB, and let's compare these transactions to how much they cost and how much we get. But why would I be here? Okay, well, the key takeaway is the fee return for me. So make a swap on Biswap and get up to 90% of the fee returned in BSW tokens. That's their own Biswap token. Okay, and so what you can do with that is you can add liquidity here, and so then you can be a liquidity provider. You have liquidity pairings and things like that. So I have some USDT and BSW in here. It's the Biswap token, and so with that, I'm earning yield on it. So I'm earning an interest rate. This is variable right here, but I'm earning 72% returns on my money. A liquidity provider pairing means I have basically half USDT or Tether or stable coins, and the other half is their Biswap token. So I am subject to impermanent loss here. I understand the BSW can go up and down in value for better and worse. So far, and I've only been in this exact pool for about a month or so. I think actually maybe a little bit less than that, but I've earned $28 or 48 BSW. And this one is just a little test pairing with BNB. BSW, I have $1.50 in there and I earned a whopping 6 cents. So that's nothing really too interesting. You can also just stake their token if you want to, if you think they've got something good going. On that, I'm earning 38% or 37% interest. This is also an auto compounder, so the interest I earn in these coins, it just dumps it right back in there, and I just casually continue to stake more and more BSW tokens. They also have a holder pool that gives you exclusive rewards and stuff like that, but there's a 25% unstaking fee. Okay, so just make sure you understand that. The auto BSW is, I think, a 72-hour 0.1% unstaking fee. After that, there is no fee. So again, I'm not trying to shill it. They did support the channel with that previous video, and obviously I have some BSW tokens. But lately, I've just been making trades on here because just why not? But let's look at the data, because I'm all about data, and it's not a perfect test or comparison here. So let me just pull this up on BSC scan, and we will crack open these two transactions. So this is Pancakeswap, 0.01 BNB. I traded that for Cake, the Pancakeswap token. And so that cost me 18 cents to complete that trade, and I got 0.7027 Cake. And then I completed this trade on Biswap. My transaction fee was 39 cents, and I got 0.7027 Cake for completing this transaction. So I did have a higher transaction fee right here, largely due to just dealing with their router, and basically I'm taking their path to go to Pancakeswap most likely, which is going to be where the massive amount of cake liquidity will be sitting. So this maybe wasn't the best example because it's such a minute amount, but if you're trading $1,000, that's when you start to get a lot of tokens back, and that's when it becomes worthwhile. These tokens will just pop up right here. Again, I think my trade was so small it didn't really even like initiate any tokens of interest, but hey, just a note, again, you do whatever you want to do. So Goldshell's recently restocked miners, mixed feelings, right? So it's fun. We got some more miners back in stock, and I like that they deal direct to customers. You can order quantities of one. They've completely slashed their prices. So you end up kind of pissed. It's like we're all frustrated because it's like just a month ago you were selling these for so much more, but they were more profitable. There was more demand, but it's just we get sick of like these being cheaper to produce, right? And then they reap these huge rewards. But if they didn't raise the price and people would just buy them and turn around and resell them for those prices, so like what a dilemma, right? At the end of the day, the little guy loses, and that's just unfortunately the way a lot of things work in this world. But so they have restocked a lot of cheaper prices here, better opportunities to basically break even and then get some ROI or return on your investment. So hey, you do whatever you want to do. I'm going to be working on a Goldshell KD Lite review here shortly. It's a $10,000 miner, and it's now one of the most profitable mining rigs out there. It yet again mines Cadena, which just seems to be the theme with all of the most profitable miners recently. You can see right now this thing will be pulling $18 a day at a 5 cent per kilowatt hour electric rate. Obviously Cadena miners are topping the charts like normal. We got the D7, which is, increased exponentially recently. The S19 XP, the most powerful air-cooled Bitcoin miner, and then the dubious X4, okay, which I've never seen this one in person. We had the X41U, which we reviewed here, and worked very well. I still have it mining. It works very well, but and I don't want to be betting on Ethereum mining at this stage of the game. But maybe you do. Maybe you're just some kind of maniac. Maybe you're crazy.
You want to be crazy? I'll show you crazy,
and maybe that'll pay off big time. Just like subscribing to this channel will pay off big time. So I hope you enjoyed today's videos. We just ran through all this news, the good, bad, the ugly, the hopeful, and just the whatever else. My name is Vos. Please subscribe to the Voskcoin YouTube channel. Smash the thumbs up. Let me know what you want us to cover next, what you liked about this video, what you didn't like, how I can improve moving forward. Seriously, the channel is nothing without you watching, so thank you for tuning in, especially if you watch the video all the way through. The watch time is how these videos are ranked by YouTube. And so that makes all the difference in basically video being ranked higher and doing well long term and all that stuff. So seriously, thanks, and hope I see you tomorrow because I'll have another video then.
When I